United States Senator Tom Cotton has been a frequent visitor to these airwaves. We had to get him out of bed early. In Arkansas, they typically rise around 10 o'clock. Rangers get up around noon, I'm told, by my Navy friends. Tom Cotton, Senator Extraordinaire, welcome to the new Hugh Hewitt Show. Great to have you on.
Good morning, Hugh. Welcome back to morning radio. It's been a long time, I know, but it's a great honor for a man who deserves it very well.
Well, thank you. I want to start with a very serious story. I talked about this with the speaker who's in Israel. Washington Post today, Mike Ryan and Sunderson Raghavan says, we're about to go big into Libya. The tentative political process comes as the United States moves forward with plans to launch intensified attacks against the Islamic State's Libyan branch, which has up to 8,000 fighters and is the group's strongest affiliate outside of Iraq and Syria. U.S. Africa Command now developing dozens of targets across Libya. What do you make of this, Senator Cotton?
Hugh, it's unfortunate that Libya has reached the point it has, which is a complete safe haven for the Islamic State. If a Republican had undertaken the Libya campaign that President Obama and Hillary Clinton did, it would be front-page news every single day. The failures, not just in planning, but the complete absence of planning for anything in the aftermath of the air campaign in 2011. You know, the world would probably be a safer place today if President Obama and Hillary Clinton had done in Libya what they've not done in Syria and done in Libya, or done in Syria what they did in Libya. As it stands, though, we are where we are, and we can't simply let the Islamic State continue to grow and metastasize inside that country. As we've seen in Brussels, Paris, San Bernardino, and other places, they have both the intent and the capability to attack the West, and especially the United States and our citizens. So we have to deny them of that safe haven, and we have to permanently remove their leaders from the battlefield, just as we're trying to do in Iraq and Syria. We can't simply turn our eyes away from Libya.
Well, this Western intervention that the Post is talking about, can it simply be done from the air? It also mentions U.S. Special Operations and their French and British counterparts have established small cells on the ground. But small cells versus 8,000 people plus airstrikes, does that equal success?
Well, the airstrikes are essential, Hugh, and it's not clear that any kind of large number of troops are needed. In particular, as you say, France and some other European countries have more core interests and history with Libya. President al-Sisi of Egypt has also shown a willingness to intervene across his border to stop the Islamic State from growing. In the end, there may be some number of personnel on the ground, not just special forces, but intelligence personnel. But again, the Islamic State there actually controls real territory. I mean, it's relatively easily identified, and that territory obviously has to be pummeled.
Now, Syria also in the news. They have retaken the town of Palmyra. They found, of course, the Arch of Triumph built under the Roman Emperor Severus in 193 in rubble. They found the Temple of Baal al-Shamin in rubble, the Temple of Bel in rubble. But most worrisome, they found the first mass grave, about 40 people, 23 of whom are women and children. I'm not surprised by this. I'm not sure, you know, I should be celebrating the rollback of ISIS, but this is the triumph of Assad.
That's right, Hugh. It's not a great situation in Syria when we have a butcher, one of the worst mass murderers of the last 25 years, Bashar al-Assad, fighting with the Islamic State, an apocalyptic Sunni terrorist group that's dedicated to the United States destruction. Because in the end, both of those forces are adversaries of the United States and our interest in the region. And the only way the Syria civil war will ever end in a way that's consonant with our interests is for the destruction of the Islamic State and the removal of Bashar al-Assad. And as you say in Palmyra, of course, it's not surprising that these savages would destroy all these ancient artifacts and sites. I mean, these are people who rape young women and young children and enslave women and crucify Christians and behead Americans. They're not going to have any compunction against a few Roman ruins.
The U.S.-led strikes, though, another Post story. Joby Warwick, who's one of the very best in this business, says that we are finally creating a financial squeeze on the Islamic State. First paragraph, the Islamic State is facing an unprecedented cash crunch in its home territory, U.S. counterterrorism officials say, as months of strikes on oil facilities and financial institutions take a deepening toll on the group's ability to pay its fighters or carry out its operations. For the first time, U.S. officials are seeing clear evidence of the financial strain on the group's leadership as reports surface of clashes among senior commanders over allegations of corruption, mismanagement, and theft. Do you agree with that assessment, Tom Cotton?
Hugh, Joby's on to something there. We have made some gains. I know your listeners will be shocked to hear that there's corruption among Islamic State leaders. Our airstrikes have become more aggressive against oil facilities and oil trucks. We've had some success with the Baghdad government turning off salaries into Islamic State-controlled areas, which provided them a tax basis. All of which just goes to show, though, Hugh, that President Obama's approach to the Islamic State has been a day late and a dollar short. There's no reason those facilities and those trucks couldn't have been struck a year and a half ago. They're out in plain sight, and everyone knew what they were being used for. But President Obama has consistently underestimated the Islamic State. He's consistently told Americans that they're overestimating the threat to terrorism. He reportedly tells people close to him that more Americans die in bathtub falls and deer collision. Well, I mean, you can't weaponize a bathtub fall, and the deer aren't in the woods plotting how to kill more Americans in the next collision. So it just goes to show that the president has not taken this threat seriously like he should have for too long, that we're just now turning off some of the revenue that the Islamic State has been using for over 2 years.
Let me play for you a little of former Secretary of State Clinton yesterday talking to Biz Journal, Business Insider. Cut number 19, please.
The way Donald Trump talks about terrorism and his, very insulting language toward Muslims is making him the recruiting sergeant for ISIS.
Do you believe that, Senator Cotton?
Hugh, I haven't seen any evidence of it, and the Islamic State and Al-Qaeda are not secretive about their recruiting. I mean, the Islamic State has a glossy magazine called Dabiq, in which they, appeal to young and alienated and disaffected Muslims all around the world. There's not a lot of stuff in there, to my knowledge, about Donald Trump, just like there's not much in there about Guantanamo Bay. This is a group that has a very prominent, well-defined theology. Graham Wood wrote about it in The Atlantic over a year ago, and it was focused on their worldview, not anything the United States does or has done in the meantime.
Now, let me play you a little bit of her and Chuck Todd talking yesterday about the server. Cut number 15.
And the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel had a tough editorial against you this week. It said this of your candidacy: her horrible track record on transparency raises serious questions for open government under a Clinton administration. So serious, we believe they may disqualify her from public office. Regardless of Clinton's excuses, the only believable reason for the private server in her basement was to keep her emails out of the public eye by willfully avoiding freedom of information laws. We encourage voters to think long and hard about the record when choosing the next president. This issue of secrecy, or the accusation that you're secretive, has followed you for quite some time. Is there any way you think you can at least convince Wisconsin voters of this?
Well, it's just a wrong set of assertions and conclusions. And as you may know, I've received the vast majority of newspaper endorsements. They all have the same information. They have all analyzed it. A lot of them have conducted interviews. So let me just say again, I sent emails to government employees on their government accounts. I had every reason to believe that they were in the government system. It was a matter of convenience. I've said repeatedly, it was not the best choice. It was a mistake.
45 seconds, Senator Cotton. She's not giving an inch. She's unapologetic.
Yeah. Hugh, in Arkansas, there's a reason we have an adjective called Clintonian. It was a very Clintonian answer. Hillary Clinton has disqualified herself from being commander-in-chief, in part by her cavalier handling of national security secrets that are probably sitting in servers now in Beijing and Moscow, not just the past risk, but the future risk as well.
Senator Tom Cotton, great to have you on in the second hour of the first Hugh Hewitt Show. I appreciate it, Senator. Have a good week. I'll be right back, America, on the new Hugh Hewitt Show.